quite extraordinary.
You are listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore, you want to be shallow, you want to go up the
You
creek,
want to have a kayak that is sophisticated.
or a kayak that is simple.
You get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing.
Yo,
How's it going?
pretty good, man. Pretty good. Wow, look at that. See, we did that to perfection. There's already 14 people on here live right now. And usually if we start talking right at the beginning, when we go live, then it's like no one really hears it because no one's even on. So those Nakwa commercials and all that worked out great. I see some people on here already. Josiah is on here, our high school intern extraordinaire. Maybe that should be his title. I don't know. He's doing a great job helping out with that new high school division. Jake, the fishing guy. What's up, Jake? See him a little bit later today. So anyway, a wild day for me, man. I'll do a quick little intro. We'll catch up and we'll dive right into this Paris Reelfest and knock this out as quick as we can here today. Jake, I took my daughter to preschool because she's, 3 now. We're going to take her to preschool. And I've been, instead of my wife taking her and dropping her off, how tough that is at the very beginning. It's like I'm doing it because she's probably would do better with me. So Monday, I spent all day at her preschool. I couldn't leave. And now today I was there all morning. And then I left and she was like, no, I want to come with you instead of playing, even though she's having a blast, but she's getting there. So we'll see. But anyway, I fly out with Jake to Jake Cook, to Lake Havasu for Bassmaster. And it's going to be, a day when you fly out, it's a nervous kind of day anyway, packing up. Do I got everything?
Yep.
So a little bit stressed about all that, but I'm excited about this. And hopefully your day has been not quite as hectic and as eventful as mine. So how's it going, bud?
It was just 0 degrees when I woke up this morning. So
Wow.
all I have, that's the only downside to my morning.
Yeah.
I wish I was going to Havasu.
That's cool. I think the high today over there is about 70. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. Nakwa's in the house. What's up, Nakwa? And hey, let me take a quick call and get this from Paul Allen, our first guest here. I'll take this quick phone call. I'll mute myself. You can chat about whatever.
Cool. Well, we can look at some stuff while we wait, because I did get some Nakwa stuff, and I think it's useful to kind of talk about it shortly. So a couple things here. A lot of people have been asking about the Nakwa stuff in particular, and like how you can record and whatnot. One of the cool things about Nakwa is they have all sorts of ways to attach this to like your GoPro poles, or even so if you don't want to use like a super long cord, because one of the downsides to recording all the time is you have to have a USB cable coming from somewhere. And I actually have one wired into my backpack that comes out, wraps around the pole. It can be really annoying because then when you take the GoPro off, you've got this giant cord. So like one of the cool things about these power packs, the Nakwa power packs, is you can actually like attach it somewhere on the pole with like Velcro, straps, whatever. And there's even like a little thing here. So if you want to have this just on the pole so that you can use like a nice short little cord, that is one great thing about it. And I'm going to show you guys the other thing I like about it. So one of the problems I've run into with these battery packs is just having a water damage. Like I've got a couple this size that has gotten some water damage, and Nakwa actually makes a silicone sleeve that will help prevent a lot of that. Now it's not going to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect when you're dealing with water. But I like these sleeves because I knew that this was a thing that they had. But one thing I did not know about them is you can actually slip your cables in there. And I can't tell you how many times I've hit the water and I don't have a spare USB-C cable. So that's one thing I like about these sleeves. You can always tuck a little backup charger in there on these. So yeah, that's the Naqua Power Pack. That should power your day for the most part. Now if you're going to be doing a really long day, like 10-hour day, you might want to look at their 20 amp hour pack or even like the 10 amp hour pack. So that's one of the ways that I power my my adventures on the water. So we'll see how long Drew's call is going to be here, but if anybody's got any questions, now is the time to knock them out while Drew's distracted.
Are you in?
All
Oh,
right.
he's back.
I am back.
We did a breakdown of this. I got a Naqua Power Pack from them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't
I love
realize
those.
that it had this little pouch on there that.
Yep. Got one of those. Yep. This is what I put in that pouch. Is you show them that you can put this little, this is the quad cable. I stow that in there.
That's what I was saying. Like you can just tuck it in there and you've always got a backup cable with you, right? So like take the cable and just sticks right in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even
Perfect.
tuck it down in there. So
Love it. So Paul,
they
that's Paul
call
from
that the stash pack, but I do
Yes.
like this because I've had a couple of my things get water damage, and now this isn't going to be perfect, obviously, but it does help.
Right.
It's like that extra layer of protection.
Yeah. Let me text another guest here. Josh.
Okay,
Booth.
so someone asked, why is it a one-day shootout? Well, we made the change to that because
Mhm.
we figured since there was going to be so many people there for the Bassmaster Classic and it was a deconfliction with some other Texas events. So typically we do the Friday and then the Saturday, but since all the stuff's going on that week with the Bassmaster Classic, like we're going to be there fishing the kayak championships, it just made sense to make the change to a one-day shootout style event because it's Texas.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those things where if you think about the scheduling, guys, the schedule goes like this. You got the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday is the awards at the Classic. So people that are staying for fishing that event, they can go from from Lake Fork to Paris. It's an hour away, and then pre-fish. Go ahead and just roll right into pre-fishing Friday and Saturday if they didn't, make the awards and need to be at the Classic. And then if you guys aren't fishing the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship, then you can come in for the Classic. Come experience it on Friday or Saturday, whatever you want to do. Pick which day you want to be there. Pre-fish the Paris Reelfest waters on, whatever, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day you want to pre-fish or whatever, and then go to the Classic and then fish the shootout. So it gives folks that fish the championship 2 potential days to practice after the championship and go straight into the one-day shootout. So that's kind of why we did it, because otherwise we had it on March 29th. If you were there for the Bassmaster Championship, you probably get into town on like the 15th, right, of March to practice, on that Saturday. So you're looking at who can stay from the 15th to the 29th. We all have like lives and jobs. There's a few people that might be able to do that, but not many. So it actually works out better. Just piggybacks right on the class. And we're going to show the Bassmaster Classic, the final, crowning moment on the theater screen in Paris there. So while we're on our stage doing our awards, we're going to be able to stream into that live. So anyway, I will say the only news and notes that I've got as we move into, that was a good question though. Keep those questions coming. Is I'm going to be at the Columbus Fishing Expo. I believe that is like February the 7th, 8th, and 9th kind of weekend, the Super Bowl weekend, whatever dates those are. I'll be there on that Friday. Just so everyone knows I will be there just that Friday. I think that's the 7th. So Friday only for me this year, taking the kids to Paw Patrol Live on Saturday. So
a lot of people got sick at ours.
Oh, it happens every year. Every one of these shows is sick. So I'm gonna be there just Friday.
After ICAST, like that's the only thing I can.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I think of with cons.
Yeah, absolutely. This time of year is just tough. You go anywhere with people, you're gonna get something. The other news I will share with you guys is Native Watercraft and Bonafide are back. I was going to say back on board, but Native wasn't technically a sponsor last year. They're owned by the same, Big Adventures company, yeah. But Native and Bonafide are on as a sponsor. And you may have seen or heard, Jake, you already knew this, but the Native No Limit, the Big Bass No Limit Power Hour is holding an event on the Susquehanna in conjunction with our event. So that's going to be a giant, huge event, in that Susky 5 Slamma Jamma event that we are holding with the city of Bloomsburg there, the Columbia Montour County that is going to be exciting, and I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait to see how many people we can get at that event, because I know Bassmaster has a limit of 250 anglers, and I think we could seriously break that, because you got $1,000 an hour for the
Do
native
they have a
no
limit?
limit. I think they have a limit of 250. I think I could be
I
wrong.
thought they had 263 at Murray.
Oh, really? Maybe
Yeah.
we don't have a limit on Bassmaster, but I thought there was a limit. Maybe not. But either way, could we get up to like 250, 300 people at that one event on the Susquehanna? Maybe. I think it's possible with this joint event. You can win $1,000 an hour. You can. I mean, their format works seamlessly with ours, so that's perfect.
And I want to point out, if it's a big event, there's gonna be a giant payday. All these this event running in joint.
Yeah.
You don't even have to win to make money if you enter both events, because they pay out every single hour. And I want to point out that if anybody saw that 7-pound Susquehanna smallmouth from this past fall, that stretch of river where it was caught is in bounds. Just saying.
Yep, it is in bounds.
Just saying. He's in there somewhere.
He is in there somewhere. So I think we should get to it. I see our guests in here, and we got some other people messaging me, some other guests that are coming today. It's going to be a great show, and let's see if we can get everybody in here and everything working good. So we'll quickly start with we'll start with Mr. Paul Allen from the city of Paris, Texas. What's up, Paul? We got you here.
Hey, how are you doing? I'm glad I got in.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Usually it's pretty seamless and easy, but you figured it out, man. You figured it out. Just like we are figuring things out for this event. We had to shift some things around. We got it figured out. It's going to be a really cool event. So we can't wait to be there. But yeah, just quickly introduce yourself and tell the folks, what you do for the city there, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for having me on. We're definitely excited to host this event here in Paris, Texas. We thrive on welcoming our guests into our town. I am the president of the Chamber of Commerce here, but we also manage the Visit Center. So we are heavily involved in events and promoting our town and everything about Paris. And our goal is, once you get here, we don't want you to leave, and we want you to come back when you do. So.
Awesome, man. We would love to come back many times. As you know, the Kayak Adventure Series, we've talked about this. We definitely try to move around to different new locations and, adventure, right? So We're going to be back. We'll keep you guys in the rotation. But what I think is exciting, we're going to have Duke Tran on from North Texas Kayak Fishing later. And we've gotten, that club connected with you guys. They're going to be there holding a joint event. We're also going to have Josh Booth on here from the All-American Kayak Series. And they're holding well, it's not really a joint event, but it's a qualifier for their championship, the classic they have, which pays out like $10,000. So people and Josh will explain on the show today what percentage of the anglers in this tournament will qualify to fish his big event there. I think it's the first weekend of May. So a lot of opportunity at this event, and a lot of great connections we were able to make with you and the more regional and local clubs that can continue to come to Paris every year. And, they can decide what lakes that they want to put in bounds, and we're going to talk about all of our rivers and lakes later. But no, I'm excited, man.
Everything just kind of seemed to work out, and I appreciate the contacts and look forward to working with everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So we're going to be at all the bunch of different lakes we'll talk about later, but we're actually going to hold our festival. It looks like got a few little T's to cross and some I's to dot, but I think we're going to hold it.
I've worked on that today too, so
nice.
We're heading in the right direction.
It sounds like we're going to block some streets off in downtown for our festival. That's kind of cool. And we'll do that. We'll hang out there right basically in front of the, I think it's called the Paris Community Theater, the Plaza.
That is
right.
Correct.
And we'll be using that theater. That's exciting. So tell us a little bit about that theater. It seems pretty historic and pretty cool. I mean, it looks old.
It is historic. And I can tell you, as a small child, I remember going in there and going to movies. And I remember also sneaking into that theater and watching Bruce Lee movies that I wasn't supposed to be going to. So downtown Paris is a very historic place. There have been a lot of things that have changed over the years. At night, all of our trees downtown are lit up, and the Plaza Theater has lights on it. And so I think you'll be very impressed with downtown Paris, Texas. I really do.
Yeah, I think so. From what I can tell, it's just one of those cities that I personally am kind of like, I love the cities that are like these like medium-sized towns where you have all the modern conveniences you really need, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yet you don't have the traffic and all, like of the big city and all the congestion, but yet you could just get right out to outdoor activities like that. And I've noticed that about Paris. It's right in the middle of so many different lakes and
You'd be
some rivers as
surprised
well, which I what's
how
that, Jake?
difficult it is to find food at some of these towns because they close so early.
Yeah, if they're too small, you're right. It's like they close
Yeah,
too
like
early. If they're too
that's
big.
like the number one complaint we've gotten. If we don't get a lot of complaints, but I've had people saying like, "Man, what's the deal? We get off the water and there's nowhere to eat." I'm like,
Yeah.
small towns, man.
Yep, it's true. It's true. But we're excited. I know that the city is Paris, Texas. So if you haven't ever seen this before, there is a cool replica of the Eiffel Tower. Fittingly, of course, in Paris, Texas. Tell us about that, because I think the kids and the families that join for this event, they're going to want to go check that out.
Well, we have, like you said, we've got the replica of the Eiffel Tower, and right now we claim to be we have the largest Eiffel Tower in the world that has a red cowboy hat on it. And we put that red cap. I say we. It been years ago. The red cowboy hat was put on top to make us be able to claim that we're the largest Eiffel Tower with a cowboy hat. And
I'll pull it up right here. Here we go.
It is amazing. It is amazing the number of people that come to Paris just to see that.
There we go.
Back when the eclipse was coming through Paris, Texas, one of the first people that I met out there was a couple from Paris, France that came to Paris, Texas for the eclipse because of that Eiffel Tower. So it's definitely something that people come to see. It's really not that large when you get here, but it is definitely a tourism draw.
Well, you got to see it. If you're going to be in Paris, you got to go check it out.
You got to go see it.
Kids, the family, they'll love that for sure.
Yeah.
We're excited to have our Bass University brunch, which is our seminar series, be in the evening. I think we're still going to do brunch menu, though. I think we'll still have some breakfast food in the evening. Over there at the Holiday Inn Express. They're going to host us there for that. And that's where our check-in and registration is going to be on Saturday night, the 22nd. So I believe that starts around 6, giving people time that might have been at the Bassmaster Classic on Friday or Saturday, time to get over to you guys, a couple hours away. And we can check in, register folks there, and they can get started on their one-day shootout on Sunday. So I'm excited about that. The other thing I was going to mention is, well, actually, Paul, I think you said you're going to have an apron on. You're going to be there doing a little bit of cooking maybe yourself. So that's cool. Yeah, it's awesome. You're right in the thick of it.
Yeah. And I would like to mention, and you may have this talk about later on, the host activities that we have. We have the Holiday Inn Express, but we also have Comfort Inn and Suites. They are right there next to each other. It's the same parking lot. And so that will benefit when you call to book your room. And then, of course, we've got Hidden Grove RV Resort. I mean, we don't call it an RV park. We call it an RV resort, which is located very close to the new lake.
Exactly.
And so, they've got cabins. They've got actual tent spaces if you want to dry camp. So give them a call, and I think it's a great location.
Yep. And all three of those are listed on the website, guys, and they're official partners of ours for lodging. So go check it out. Paul, I don't really know what else there is to talk about. You kind of covered it. I'm excited to be there. We're excited to see you guys. We're going to continue this preview show. Any last things that you can think of, or Jake, that you can think of while we got Paul here? We're just excited to be there, basically, and thanks for having us.
Well, the only thing I can say is when you're here, if you need anything, that's why we're here. We'll take care of you. Look forward to seeing you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. See ya.
Thank you.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah, he's been so helpful. I mean, so helpful. Some communities just get it. And Texas really gets fishing. Obviously, we know that with Texas Parks and Wildlife and what they're doing. But Paul and that city of Paris, I tell you what, they just get it. I mean, they really do. They've been so helpful and trying to establish the relationship and keep kayak fishing events coming there. So we'll look forward to seeing how that goes. Let's see who's next here. Excuse me. I know we got some people in the green room. Thank you guys for popping in here. On our schedule, we have Ricky from Omnia next. Let's just chat with Ricky real quick. He's got some cool stuff to tell us. So bring him in. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Oh, good. Pretty good.
Good. And I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah. So Omnia Fishing, man, you're kind of the man there now. You know what I mean? Like Trevor used to be sort of one of the faces of Omnia. You see him on BTL, and now, you go on BTL and you come on this show and other podcasts and just talk about all the cool stuff that Omnia has going on. So if anyone doesn't know about Omnia yet, probably hidden under a rock, but if they don't, I just want you real quick, if you got a minute, explain what Omnia is, because it's more than just like an online retailer. It's a little bit more than that.
Yeah. For most of your, online retailers, retail is the majority of what they do. And, I feel like for us, it's really just kind of the tip of the iceberg, if you will. The, the products and assortment that we have is a huge part of what we do. And we have, a really, large assortment of products, all your national brands and even a lot of regional stuff. But one of the things that, really sets us apart is, our shopping experience really as a whole, having the ability to shop by lake and just all of the information and data
Right.
that is available to you on Omnia as opposed to any other site is really just, everything from our fishing report data to, the map technology. I mean, we have Navionics cartography in our app. We have real-time water temperature. I mean, there's some features and things, that we have, available that's just not, it's not available anywhere. So, that's really one of the things, if you get pulled up there, shopping by the map, obviously you can see, some of the key layers down there that we have at the bottom. But then in additionally too, there's, excuse me, several other layers to look at.
Yeah,
Really any kind of weather or, historical conditions that, you would want to look at. You kind of see there on the water clarity slider there, for instance. That's something that we have available all across the country on lakes from, the state of Washington down to Florida and, from New England to Southern California. So
it's cold. It's cold here, man. Look at this lake by me. So I'm flying out to Arizona for a reason here later today. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, it's just ice. It's frozen.
Yeah, pretty much. We can go to satellite over here. You can go to Navionics. I mean, you got the C map. I mean, you got everything you would need at your fingertips. Plus, you can add the waypoints quickly and easily on, like right here, I can just throw down any of these waypoints that I've got.
It's nice that it's all in one place too, because I was able to cancel 2 different things and just use this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like all in one. Plus you get the shopping experience.
Exactly. Now, did we touch on that, Ricky, that what are they going to get? Actually, you've got a special. Should we announce the special now? What we're going to do for the Kayak Adventure Series anglers?
I do. We might as well. I don't want to keep them waiting any longer.
Yeah, right.
No, yeah. So what we're going to do at Omnia, and I'll touch on this a little bit further with our pro membership, and having that pro membership is what gives you full access to all of the map technology and data and information that we're able to provide on the products you like to use in the lakes that you fish. But from now until the end of the month, anyone who uses the code KAS Pro from now till the end of the month at omniafishing.com/pro. When you go there to check out and you buy the subscription, you'll get a $50 gift card. So, we essentially wanted to offer an opportunity up to everyone that fishes the series and, any friends,
Awesome.
Anything. It's not just limited to, the anglers specifically in the series, but we just want to give everybody an opportunity before the season starts to kind of, essentially have, almost a risk-free, opportunity to try this out. The membership's $50 for the year. So, we'll give you a $50 gift card right away. And it, once you check out, it'll just automatically pop into your account. But if anybody has any questions or issues like that, feel free to let me know.
Yeah.
You can get my information and reach out to me for sure. But
Dude, that's awesome.
We'll do that from now until the end of the month. And then I'll kind of go into the contingency program a little bit, Drew, what, we're looking at doing there. So everyone that is a pro member for all the events this year, they'll be eligible for a contingency program. And essentially the highest placing finisher in the tournament who has a pro membership is going to win a $300 gift card for every single event. So
wow, that's
That's
awesome. Dude, that is epic.
A new reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Was that KAS Pro you said was the code?
Yeah, KAS Pro is the code.
All right, let's add that to the bottom of the screen here. That way people can see it. Omnia code is KAS Pro. So boom. I mean, the price you would pay, like you're saying, Jake, for all the other stuff alone would be more. And now you're getting, what is it? Free shipping. You got, is it over a certain, is it just free shipping? period?
Yeah, so with the pro membership, yeah, that's just I've just been talking about some of the mapping and technology benefits. But
Yeah.
yeah, on the commerce side, so you get 10%
shipping.
cash back on all your purchases in the form of credits back into your account, and then you get free shipping with no minimums all year. So if you just need a couple packs of worms for your upcoming tournament, you can go ahead and order them, get a little bit of a discount, and then not have to pay shipping as well.
That
And
is
then
unreal.
Yeah, I felt really guilty. I bought one pack the other day of Yamamoto grubs because that's all I needed, and it was free shipping, and it was here in like 2 days. So
I just placed an order. All my stuff's getting shipped to Arizona right now. It should be my Airbnb already.
Drew style.
So
now I do want to point out one thing that's like kind of underrated about the Omnia experience in general is just the content side of things that's like integrated into the app. You've got all the maps and stuff, but they do video breakdowns of a lot of the products. Specifically the rod deflection videos. Those are super underrated because if you're wanting to buy a rod, you don't get to touch it when you're online, right? Well, with these videos, you can see a lot of the the bins, the actions where it really loads up in the blank. And I think that those are underrated. Not a lot of people do those. So I actually really appreciate those videos.
Yeah. Those are great. So
with Omnia, our whole intention is, the the experience that you have when you go into a brick and mortar traditional retailer, having that ability to talk to someone at the counter and get information and insights about the products and the local lakes and things like that. That's really what we're, creating here in a national e-commerce platform. Where regardless of where you're from, you're able to find information that's relevant to you and the lakes you fish and the products that you like to use, stuff that's valuable information that will help you as an angler, whether you're someone that's just, starting out or if you're, a seasoned angler that, maybe this is something I never considered before. One of the things we just introduced is we have, on most of our product detail pages, we have AI summaries from all the fishing reports that feature those products. You'll actually be able to get a quick screenshot into, exactly what anglers just like yourself across the country are saying about those particular products. And you're able to look at it by some different categories too, like color and size, and
that's cool.
Just kind of having a quick holistic view of what everyone says about this, and then you can drill it down even further if you want to look at the specific reports and see exactly what those guys say. If it was really detailed and in depth, and you want to get really technical with it, then you have that ability on Omnia. You can get as much information as you want or as little. You can continue this traditional shopping experience, and maybe not utilize some of that stuff as much, but there's there's something for everybody there. And if you're a serious fisherman like me, there's a lot of stuff there.
I like that AI. That's smart, because the thing about Google, if you click on, it comes up with a few different rankings, articles or whatever, that someone that's talking about a product, you just don't know who's really behind that or what the motive is, or if they have an agenda. You know what I mean? Like some reviews are people just trying to push something one way or the other, whatever. But AI, the beauty of having that's smart, because it's pulling like everything from the entire, obviously the internet, and then summarizing it for you guys. And obviously how many, people would you actually have to have out there just constantly putting fake, 5-star reviews for AI to, for it to actually I guess persuade it in the wrong direction if it's really a sucky product. So it's kind of cool. It's grabbing everything from forums, from people that are actually really truly using it and saying what they think about the product, and then boom, bringing it in. So I like that. That's cool, because I just never know when I'm reading a review, how legit is this review? You know what I mean? Like, do they have some tie with this brand or whatever? So that's cool. I like that.
And that,
but
with all the reports on our site, they're all generated by people. This is nothing. All we're using that AI for is to essentially take, because some products will have 300 or 400 different reports that have featured that product. So it's a consumer, taking that time to look through every report takes forever. But we want to be able to pull that all together and kind of give you a brief summary of what they're saying, and then you can go from there and get as deep into it as you want to. But it's cool. All from the real anglers. It's just making it a smarter way for guys to shop, and that's always what we're trying to do. Is
dude, that is awesome, Ricky. You guys are crushing it, man. You're adding new stuff. You guys added in the waypoints, and you can add photos with the waypoints. Just a suggestion that I had, and it's not like you're gonna go back to everyone and charge them more. The more features you keep adding is just part of the subscription. So definitely, guys, go check out the Omnia Pro app. Use KAS Pro in order to get that special deal to the end of the month with that $50 gift card that comes with it. And these are all tools, mapping tools that I was using before. We reached out to you guys because I love the tool. Every sponsor you see pretty much is something that I've used or Jake or somebody the Kayak Adventure Series has used as a kayak angler ourselves. At the highest level we love to fish, the Bassmaster Kayak Series, and before that the Hobie BOS when they were around in series like that. So we reach out to you guys for a reason, and we appreciate you guys. You do great stuff. You've helped us, catch more fish and bigger fish in the water, and we just want to share that with you guys watching. So anything else you can think of you want to touch on before we let you go? And thanks for your time.
Yeah, just letting everybody know that, like I said, I'm here. Like I said, if anybody has any questions, feedback too, especially like with, Pro, that's one of the things that I'm super excited about is, getting feedback from everyone. You guys are, anglers, what it is that you're looking for. If there's, information, in the bodies of water that you fish that maybe we're not providing, or, something that you feel like can need improvement, we're always looking for feedback like that. Cause this is something, just like you said, it's constantly going to evolve, and we're going to continue adding new capabilities and new features, as we can, and having that feedback from, anglers who are actually out there, telling us exactly what they need. That's what, those are the kind of things we want to add and incorporate to that.
Love it. You guys listen. I love that about Omnia. They listen to the anglers. That's incredible. I wish more brands out there would just listen to the anglers like you guys do. Well, we'll get more information about that $300 gift card and what it takes to, obviously you have to own Omnia Pro, but we'll get more information on if you have to tag Omnia or whatever it takes. We'll have the little check boxes for that contingency. We'll get that up on the website. We're going to have one big page that has all of the Kayak Adventure Series contingency programs and bonus bucks programs, because there are quite a few this year. So we'll get that all up, and we'll dial it in so you guys can see that officially. Thanks for your time, Ricky. Awesome.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, buddy. Cool. And who is next here? Let's see. On the list, I've got Josh Booth real quick for about 5 minutes, and then Duke from North Texas. Matt Scotch here in the green room. Do you got to run? Are you good to wait just a little bit? Or you got to run? I know you might be at work. Maybe. Just shake your head if you're okay to wait for about 10 more minutes. But I think Josh is here somewhere. And yeah, let's bring Josh in. Oh, sorry. We just knocked him out.
We're good. We're good.
Hey, Josh, what's up, buddy? With the All-American Kayak Series, Moyak, and just doing all kinds of good stuff. Good to have you on again.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Good morning.
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'll be doing better when I land in, Las Vegas, and it's 70 degrees later tonight. Well,
yeah, that'd be nice.
That sounds like a recipe for a sinus infection, man. Real cold, real hot in the desert.
Hey, I mean, I'm sure the positivity of being in the warmth that will overcome whatever happens, and I'll be out there fishing, so that'll get me through it. I think I'll survive somehow. I'll make it.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. We'll see. But I just quickly wanted to get you on here because you are offering, making this event, the Paris Reelfest, a qualifier for your All-American Classic. And last year, you guys gave away 10 grand. You had over 200 anglers. Tell us a little bit about that event and how at this event, anglers are going to qualify for that.
Yeah, the All-American Kayak Classic is it's a club-based championship, but also an individual tournament at the same time. The top 15 anglers from every club that wants to come participate are invited. And then we take the scores of the top 5 finishers from each club to create a club score. And then that top club gets, one of those big old trophies back there and an extra bonus of $5 grand. We paid out almost, I think, $30,000 total last year. We're pushing 200 anglers. Missouri's really starting to put on some good events here with, we got this classic in the spring and then the Big Bass 250 in the fall. Both pay out really well and both draw some big numbers. So, we're really happy to work with the Kayak Adventure Series to offer a last chance qualifier. Some anglers may not fish a whole club series and finish in the AOI standing. Some bounce around, some fish the national trails. So on top of the qualifier, the invite is out there to the top 15 in Kayak Adventure Series from last year. Those guys are invited to come and compete and represent that series. Also, Steve Owens is going to be sending some guys from Bassmaster as well and KBF as well. So trying to get everybody there. But if you still need another chance to qualify, then this event down in Texas is going to be just for you. That we're going to let the top 25% in the final standings qualify with no entry fee, no extra, nothing. Just a last chance to get in to work with you guys. And we're really excited about it.
Nice, dude. That is awesome. We're excited about it too, and about that event. You know, we've unfortunately lost some opportunities, right? This year, you know, no real KBF Trail Series, no Hobie BOS. You know, just this is a business too. All this, so things kind of happen
Mhm.
for those reasons. So at least we've got, you know, the Bassmaster, we got Kayak Adventure Series, you got All Americans still around. I think that the group in the Northeast folded too, Elite Kayak Fishing, unfortunately. So, hey, more opportunities, the better for the angler. So appreciate you guys putting on that awesome event. And sounds like one that if I was in that area and I was an angler, I would not want to miss out on. So last, you know, minute qualifier here at the Paris Reelfest. So come hang out at the Classic, roll over and qualify for the All-American Classic right after that. So should be
Yep,
fun.
it's going to be May 2nd and 3rd in Clinton, Missouri, and it's every year. It's going to be that first weekend of May. We've got that all worked out already in advance. So
Perfect.
put that on your schedules. You know, we've also got the All American Kayak Series. It's running too, to where you can also qualify for the Classic through that series as well. And this year we're on some really great lakes like Table Rock and, you know, La Crosse, and we're going to be on Grand Lake in Oklahoma. So you guys can check those out on Tourney X.
Nice. I think we're gonna have a lot of anglers from that area fish this tournament. I think Arkansas, Missouri. I think a lot of people that are close enough to the Classic are gonna want to come experience that and then just fish this while they're there. It just makes sense. So I'm excited, man. You guys do a great job. Maybe Josh, we'll even see you at you know, a KAS event if you know you have a chance to get one. I know you're kind of partnering with us on the Minnesota event in St. Cloud, which we're calling the Ashigans Mississippi Bronze Quest. So, you know, maybe we'll see you up there if your schedule permits and see you in person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I might dust off the old kayak and take her down to Texas too. I don't know. We'll see. I think I might make a couple of events this year.
That's
it looks like it's going to be really fun.
Nice. All right. Well, keep in mind, guys, if you fish 2 regular season events, you add that to your brood stock, you know, which is our finale, brood stock 2 this year in Franklin, PA. All you need is 2 of the 6 regular season added with that finale, that 7th event there in brood stock. And that actually gives you your 3 events for the AOI. And our AOI prize is a 10 grand package. We got an awesome trailer from Modern Buggy RV, and it's got the Overland tent on it. It's got a kitchen in it, the Blackstone that pulls out, all that cool stuff. And then the team of the year is a $5,000 package, 2-man team of the year. So team of the year works the same way. You just fish 2 of the regular season 6. Of course, you can fish 3, 4, 5 and give yourself, you know, a few mulligans. But we would love to see you there, Josh. You're one of the best in the industry. Thanks so much for your time, buddy.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
Right. See you, bud. All right. Boom. We are rocking and rolling now. We're getting in the groove. Any good comments? You guys shout them out. JT, we see you over there. He said he bought some stuff from Omnia just last night. He also says he's got some, what is this? Good old Fishing with Gramps lake reports and Omnia Pro. So he's spouting off some lake reports. That's cool. It's fun to see people get engaged with that app. It really is impressive, bringing everything together. So, all right, let's see. Duke, let's go Duke, and then Scotch and Armando and some other folks will bring in here to talk about some waters, some fishing in Texas. Of course, we'll talk with Duke about it too. He's a hammer. He knows what's up. So what's up, buddy? Let me unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. We got him. I don't hear you. Let's try to go out and come back in. See if that fixes it. Let's try that. Go out and come back in. I don't hear him. Do you, Jake?
No.
I couldn't hear him, so he'll go out and come back in.
Glitchy when it...
Yeah. If not, we'll roll to Matt Scotch or Armando, and then you never know. Maybe even Guillermo will pop in here. He said he might have signal today. He's going to try. Let's add him on stage here. Oops. Sorry. All right. We got you.
All right. Does that work?
Yeah, we're good.
We got you. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Oh, not too much, man. You're there. It looks like you're in the shop there at Mariner
I am
Sales.
at the shop. Yes, sir. Got to make that money.
That's right, man. So you do a lot of stuff, man. You're kind of like the man in Texas running a shop, you know, helping run the shop. Then you're doing North Texas, and then you got the Texas Bass Nation, and my Lord, you got a lot going on. But I guess people do say that about me too. But
yeah, man. I don't understand how you get to fish so much though. I don't get to fish at all.
I'm gonna tell you the old dirty secret, bro. Last year I fished 4 events. I ran mine. I fished 4. I happened to place in the money at all 4. So if people see me and they see the names, so they're like, "Oh, Drew fishes all the time," and I got whatever it was 6 in the AOI. But I only fished 4 events, and one of them, didn't count for AOI. It was the championship that I won. So of course, when you win the championship, you could almost not fish, and people still think you're fishing all the time because you obviously were up there for that event. So
Yeah.
anyway, but I'm looking forward to being over there in your neck of the woods to try to defend that title this year on Lake
Heck
Fork,
yeah.
which I've never fished, and then of course hit this Paris Reelfest. But this year I am going to try to fish a few more events, but I'm going to do it I got this thing. I'm going to try to do it with 1 day or less of practice so I can be home more with the family and stuff. And then try to just have 1 day, except for Lake Fork for the championship. I'll give that one a little bit more practice time. But real quick, while you got there and I see the shop in the background, I do want you to touch on, cause you're on the Old Town team too. Is that right?
I am.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
So Ryan Lilly couldn't make it. He's on like a vacation, or he said he's on a plane right now to Florida. So he's kind of doing like I am today. He's heading south eventually later when I get on the plane to Arizona for Havasu. But he said, yeah, we can have you briefly talk about Old Town. And we're actually going to have Old Town and Ryan are going to give away a kayak at this event that we're going to raffle for autism through the Autism Anglers group that we're supporting this year, our 501c3. So tell us a little bit about, how you liked your experience at Old Town and maybe one of your, preferred kayaks from Old Town.
Oh man, I love my Old Towns. I really do. Favorite Old Town is the Autopilot. I don't think there's a better fishing platform for us with built-in spotlight technology. And it's as stable as you can get. I mean, I tournament fish in one, and I fun fish in one. I carry my kid in the back. We go striper fishing almost every weekend. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, that was a great boat. So there's a few boats out there. I know people call, I don't know what the word is, legacy boat, or I don't know. There's a few boats like the PA, right? The PA for Hobie, the Hobie PA, I think was one of those. The flagship, but they're ones that sort of like they kind of broke a mold in the industry. And I think I would consider the Autopilot one of those. People said the original Kusa that I designed with Jackson back in the day that had a little camp chair on it. And then after that, of course, you can't find a fishing kayak without a little camp chair that sits high and whatnot. So people have always said that they feel like that was one of them because of some of the cool features and fishy features it had. And then you came around and the Autopilot was certainly one. The PA was before that, I think, but the PA was one. And then I don't know, but I definitely thought that was a cool boat, how the motor is right there close enough where you can kind of pull it up, you can clear weeds, you can do all that stuff, and it's kind of all just built around it. That was pretty cool. So kudos to Old Town for breaking the mold on that, and we definitely want to thank Ryan Lilly and the whole team at Old Town for supporting us again this year, and so we can raise money for autism. So that's awesome. And
fantastic.
Yeah, so now to talk about the water, some of the waters in the area. What I want to do, if you're cool with it, just I'm going to bring like Matt Scotchin and Armando, introduce them. And if you have a moment to stick around, we actually want to get your opinion on some of the rivers and the lakes in play. Actually, sorry, before I do that, I do want to say to tell us about the North Texas event. That's a joint event, that North Texas event, if you got a second.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do a joint event with North Texas there for the Paris Reelfest. They're just going to register separately, and it's just all the same day, the same. I guess we're using the same rules and all that, it sounds like. And then.
Yep. I'm trying to follow your rules as closely as possible. So
yeah,
that's the easiest way when we do these joint ventures. So, anglers don't get messed up and get, somehow disqualify themselves. So
that's true. That makes a lot. So we'll probably be able to use the same identifier, just use our identifier and it counts for your event. That is awesome.
Yep.
And we'll get your Tourney X page linked as soon as you get it made. And North Texas is just a trail with like 6-7 events every year.
Yep.
7, and then it's like a championship, I guess.
We have a classic at the end.
Classic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys sign up for that joint event when you see it pop up. It's just another way to get involved. Maybe win a little extra money, and then maybe even start to earn some points for that championship. So that'd be pretty cool. And then while I got you here too, and before I bring Matt in, I will say to everyone, remember the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship, is whatever those dates are. Somebody tell me what those dates are. It's like the Wednesday and 17th and 18th. Okay, so I should know, right? 17th and 18th, and then a few days later ours is on the 23rd. Maybe it's 18th. 19th.
It's the 20th and 21st.
Oh, 20th and 21st. Okay, then ours is the 23rd. This Paris Reelfest, KAS, and the North Texas, and then just the next weekend, you're running an event. I think with maybe some other clubs as well over there on Caddo, Lake Caddo
Yes.
on the 29th. So potentially someone could win this giant grand prize on the classic stage 3 days later, I guess, win possibly a GoPro guarantee of $10,000 at the Paris Reelfest, and even win some extra money on the joint event with, North Texas.
Yep.
Then just literally what is that, like 6 days later, go over and fish Caddo, which is just 2 hours away from probably Paris, I would think, about 2 hours, and
About
win
2 hours,
another
yeah.
giant
And they're probably
amount
going
of
to be
money.
chewing there.
Yeah, they will. No doubt about it. They're always chewing there. So
Yeah.
I just want to point that out, man. You're busy. You got a lot going on, and take advantage, guys, of this Texas swing for kayak fishing. It is big this year. And
Yeah.
then
And it is prime time. They are chomping around that time.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Let's bring in Matt Scotch and Armando. Matt Scotch, renowned national kayak tournament angler, fishes a lot of the stuff that Duke Grant runs. And I always want to say Duck when I see your name, dude, in person. I'm sure that happens to you all the time. So I want to just acknowledge that, that slip up. I almost said it, but anyway. But so Armando, people know you. You live in the area as well in Texas, and you've got a great podcast, the Bass Kayak and Beers. And yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys in there because you're kind of local and talk about the waters in play. And Armando, I know you're going to probably have some of the winners on your podcast at some during the year as well from some of these KAS events. So yeah, I guess, Matt, let's start with you, buddy. We're going to pull up the map as well. We're going to look at some of the waters, and you guys bounce whenever you have to. Cause I know, Matt, you're at Dobbins probably working, or maybe you're at home. I don't know. But anyway, something happened with Dobbins, dude. I haven't followed it, but we'll have to talk about that offline, figure out what's going on. There's some big something happened. I don't know. It's all over the news.
Conversation.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like people are talking about Dobbins all of a sudden like crazy. So I've been out of the loop, man. But let's talk about. I'll pull up the map too. I'll try to find that. But let's first talk about Lake Bodark, because that's the main big lake that it's new and everyone's kind of like talking about that lake. So tell us some of the pros and cons, just some kind of general information on that lake if you get a second, Matt, while I pull up this map.
Yeah, so Bodark's it was just open last spring. It's a fantastic lake. The only thing about the lake is the fish are going to be capped out on size, in my opinion. Being that the lake is only about 4 years old since it's been stocked, you're not going to have a lot of 24-inch bass. You're going to have a lot of bass that are kind of capping out at like 21, 22 inches, which, if you catch 5 of those, like, you're still doing pretty good. But, an older, more established body of water is going to have more upper end fish in that 24 to 25 inch range. And in Texas, when you get those are big kickers. So being that it's going to be in the springtime when those fish are easy to be caught, probably the easiest time of the year to catch them, you might stand a better chance of catching that big kicker bass on a lake that isn't Bodark. But Bodark will kick out, 95 to 100 inch stringer in this tournament.
Yeah, no doubt. I was wondering about that. If people out there were thinking that maybe these fish are so healthy and they're so fat, so weight wise, they're kind of like hitting double digits already, but are they going to be, is it going to be enough? You're going to see a 20, 23, 24, 25s yet there. Like you said, maybe not, but considering
there might be one caught. There are broodstock bass in there, but the lake is very, very thick, and finding one could be a challenge.
Yeah, and maybe this time, and you can see on the satellite image it's not even full yet because all the swamp isn't flooded fully.
Oh, it's not a swamp. It's a flooded forest.
A forest, right? I mean, it's gonna eventually be a swamp, but right now it's just a flooded forest. But I would think that you just find on this lake, you find where the hard bottom is, and it's spring. They're probably going to be starting to set up to spawn. You know what I mean? So that could, like you said, I think it could be a player for sure. I think people are excited to just fish something new, right?
Absolutely. The lake has got a lot of fish in it, and since it's going to be springtime, it's going to fish very, very good. I expect people to have 40 to 60 fish days out there, and maybe even better if you really get on them one day. But the 2 lakes nearby right there, Crockett and Coffee Mill, I expect those to be 2 real players personally.
Okay. Crockett and Coffee Mill, they're kind of smaller ones. Now, what do you think about this format where we have lots of different lakes in play? And we kind of highlight a lot of quote unquote, I would say, kayak kind of fishing waters, along with some other waters that bass boats hit. How does that play into strategy, in your opinion? Then we'll move over to Armando and Duke, and we'll see what they think about all this.
Yeah, I mean, personally, my personal opinion is I normally don't like tournaments that have those formats because it's hard to check. There's so much water to check out. It does make it challenging. You might, put in a lot of time somewhere and do pretty good, but you couldn't check out everywhere there is to fish, and somebody else found something that was like almost too easy kind of thing, and they beat you because of that. There are a lot of lakes to fish. There's a lot of water to fish, and so, it will be a little bit challenging trying to figure out which body of water to spend your time on.
Well, devil's advocate, do you fish every inch of Lake Gunnersville when you pre-fish, or every lake in the Harris Chain, or every Kissimmee Chain lake
I've
when you
tried.
practice?
I've tried.
Yeah. So what this is, and if it's the same number of total acres, even if all the lakes are 1,000 acres and you had 17 of them, that's still 17,000 acres, which is about the size of Bodark. You still have to. It's still the same number of acres. You're never going to fish it all anyway. So now that's where the game becomes, the Kayak Adventure Series strategy and game is who via online research, because I'll tell you right now, we have to put every lake in play for a reason. You can't just all of a sudden eliminate some, even if I know they suck or great. You're not adding them or eliminating them because they're good or bad. They're all in there. And it's sort of like, that's the game. Who can figure it out to eliminate at least half of them or more than half before they even get there? And you can, if you go online and you're good at online research, and it's no different than researching what section of a big lake is the best for you to go start your practice and learn. It really is the exact same thing as any major big lake, Chickamauga, Lake Fork, whatever. You can't fish it all, and your online research tells you where to go. What do you think about that, Armando, about the format and how it's a little bit different here?
Yeah, I get what Matt is saying. I kind of agree in that. But at the same time, it becomes a strategy. You just have to change the strategy. You can't approach it like if you were approaching, Bassmasters at Fork or Caddo. You're just gonna have to figure out there may be a body of water that's popular because it shows out a lot. Locals will know about it, but the problem is if that body of water, like typically a body of water that's smaller, you're going to catch more fish because you have, they're going to be grouped closer together, but then you're going to have to battle the locals that might be there, that might be overcrowded. So it becomes something of a map, right? Like I have more acreage on Bodark and spread out thinner, but I can go to a smaller body of water, but I'm going to have to share my spot with 4 or 5 anglers, which means that's less fish for me. So it really becomes a strategy, and you never know what strategy is going to pay off until the award ceremony goes. So
it's true.
It's definitely a different chink in the armor, so to speak. I don't know if that's the right term.
Yeah.
But strategy is going to be a big factor. You can't approach it the same way you would approach a national trail at one single body of water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little different for sure. I mean, we've seen with KBF, Shreveport had 5 lakes and bounds. Bassmaster last year was Caddo and Bissano. I mean, it's definitely, what I think is cool is it allows the sport of fishing and bass fishing, kayak fishing allows us to have one host city. And then we have more playing fields. We have more playing fields than we ever had before, because we don't launch from one launch like bass boat tournaments. They got to check the live wells, make sure no one's got 5 fish already in there. Cool. Now we all launch from one spot. We don't have to do that because we don't use live wells and wait. So now it's just opened up this world of look how many more cities and tourism departments and people and communities we can highlight and fisheries we can highlight to really grow the sport that never got highlighted before and make these new playing fields. Because it kind of gets boring once we already know, okay, we've been there, done that. We know so-and-so is going to be here fishing this grass, and so-and-so is going to be over here up this river or this creek. And it gives, I think, a very even playing field for someone who's a beginner or intermediate to compete with any of the guys who might have a little bit more history on some of these places. I guess we'll ask Duke his opinion on this. What do you think, man?
I think it's a cool idea. I mean, I do something similar on my Lone Star Throwdown when it comes to like certain lakes. But I don't have as broad of a range. I usually have like 2 or 3 selected lakes within the area. So this is a little bit more challenging, trying to keep everybody, let everybody spread out that much. It is definitely challenging. I am curious to see what Bodark does this March. We had our state championship on Bodark a couple months ago, and the winning string was 95 and 3/4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it could possibly break 100 this in March. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. So no, that's cool, man. Well, the good news for us is like Tourney X, they have like our judges and whatnot. Everyone's got the GPS coordinates, so everyone's spread out. But as you know, everyone on this panel knows our sport. No one's, we're all out there on our own. No one's keeping an eye on us. So it's not too tough because we let everyone fish an hour away. They get back. We know kind of where they are, where they're fishing, and we got the GPS coordinates if we need it to confirm anything. So, but it's definitely different. And we'll see how it goes. It also allows us that, let's say 1,000 people want to enter this tournament. We're good. You know what I mean? Like you're good. If you got so many lakes and rivers in play. So we really want to see the sport grow and get to where we have 1,000 people in these events. And then you got to have a boundary and a playing field that can handle it. So we dream big over here, guys. But I appreciate all the good comments there. That's cool. We got some pros and cons for sure on the strategy side with this format. Yeah. What's next here? So what else? I mean, we showed Coffee Mill. Let's just go over all the lakes real quick. We got a small one here, Lake Fannin, and we're calling this Little Lake Fannin. That's public water right there. So that's small, looks very blue, looks very deep. Within an hour, we got that. I don't know where. Oh, this one here is this. Does anyone know anything about this lake? It seems like it's got some. This is Bonham. It's got some docks on it. Seems like this, of all the lakes here, this one might have the most like man-made structure. Does anyone know anything about it?
I've
heard
it.
Lake Bottom fish is good.
Does it?
Yeah, it fishes good. It's a fun little lake. We have a couple guys that fish it regularly.
Yeah, speaking of little lakes, you say Little Lake Armando, your point was good. Like if you show up to a small lake and there's a bunch of people there and they all split up the fish. Well, that's exactly what we pointing to myself, someone that fishes like rivers and creeks and backwaters, that's what we have to deal with in any national trail. If a bunch of anglers show up at that, want to fish that same like river or creek, and if they all pre-fished it too in practice, like no one's winning from that spot. That's why strategy is so big in kayak fishing tournaments. You got to figure out where you think the majority of the field is going to be sometimes, and then zig from that spot, because it's not always going to be a winning spot if everybody's practicing it and or fishing it in the tournament. So let's look at another lake. Matt already touched on these two lakes. He thought they fished pretty good. And then there's some around Paris that are a little closer. Again, don't know anything about all these. And this is called the Gamble Wildlife Refuge. I think click on it. It says,
I didn't know you could fish that.
Yeah, it looks like you can. We looked it up. I'm pretty sure you can. There's an access right here. See, there's a ramp and access right here. If that's wrong, we looked it up and it looked like it was public. But if that's wrong, we will obviously change that. But Lake Crook is in bounds. Our little pins went away, but Lake Crook is in bounds. That's the closest one to Paris right there. And you got Pat Mays, which is I'd say one of like probably the second largest lake in this whole thing. And there's a lot of swamp up here.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Pat Mays could be a player. Pat Mays has some good fish in it.
Yep.
That was the Hobie BOS last year, right? Pat Mays.
Can we get the rest of the dimple?
No, that
Patman.
was right Patman, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right Patman. Yeah, that's right.
Now Hugo is in Oklahoma technically, but it looks like it's got some stain to it. Way in the headwaters, it has a river
The
that's
creeks
coming in.
look pretty good up it. I knew that's why he added it.
Well, hey man, I'm not fishing them, so I just was like, hey, it's within an hour. I got to have a standard here, So if anyone reaches out to us and it's like, hey, we want a launch boundary to get moved, I can only say, well, as Google Maps, according to Google Maps, the time traveled back to our host city, I like to keep those launch boundaries within an hour. Those places. So that's why we just have a standard. So if people say, hey, can you move it down one or two bridges? I can only do that if there's another launch inside our, radius, if you will, that's similar in time, like an hour and 2 minutes away, hour 5. The Red River is in bounds as well. I'm not so sure that'll be a player in this area of the Red River, but there are some oxbows and some stuff that could have some decent bass. But probably not as much of a player as these lakes, I wouldn't think. And then there's this Sulphur River here as well that comes out of this Jim Chapman Lake, which this one has a lot of like interesting looking stuff over here.
Yeah. So that's Lake Cooper, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It says Jim
Cooper Lake.
Chapman, but it's known as Lake Cooper.
Okay.
And it was the original Lake Fork before Lake Fork.
No way.
There was a period of time when it was like one of the #1 lakes in East Texas to catch a 10-pound bass.
Wow. That's I did not know that. That's cool. The Sulphur River comes out of it. I'm not so sure rivers in Texas are going to be the deal, quite honest, but you just don't know. That's why you put them in. We're not going to eliminate them. So if there's river anglers, yeah, you want to be on the lake most likely, but we're not going to steer anglers any one direction because that's for you guys to figure out. So we'll let you guys figure all that out. Got some more folks in the chat there. What's up, Marty Hughes? What's up, Tim Isaacs? Anything else you guys want to touch on? Maybe the team division or anything you guys that you like or don't like? Again, I am cool with anything. If people say like, hey, I don't really like this or that, or let's see how that's, like we allow 2 rods at one time. You could throw back in and catch another fish if it's legal in that state to catch the follower, right? And have 2 out at a time. If you control with 2 rods,
So you can catch a dead fish, keep the male in the net, and then catch the female.
I think you have to. I'm trying to think if you keep it. Then I think you have to release it. I don't got to read the rules. I think you have to release that.
No,
one fish.
you would have to release it.
Yeah,
and that's just because you can't quote like keep fish. Like technically you'd be in possession of it. So
yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's kind of a gray area, but
but that's a good point. We got to check over rules state. You have to release because what happens when you do catch the second one, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then one of them, they're going to both be there, right? Both of them, unless you keep one just hanging there on your other rod. But you do have to score. Are
always the annoying ones, right? They're always the one that bites because it's like,
of
course,
it's true. Of course, I think you have to score the rule state. You have to score the one fish, take a photo and score and release it before you can do the other one, and then before you can do any more fishing, also. So we'll look into that.
That is an interesting thing. I'm curious. I'm curious what the actual rules are. I'm assuming Bassmaster, you do have to release the fish. So, and we try to mirror all the other trails. So,
yep, yeah, exactly. We mirror their rules so for the most part with our, other rules like wading is not going to come and play here at this event. You can get out and wade fish if you want to tether yourself to your cord or whatever your rope.
You never know, man.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, you can get out and wade if you want to just cool off, but it's probably going to be cool already in March, so you don't need to do that on the lake here. But you could walk through the flooded forest if you want and portage over something or whatever. But as long as you're in those watersheds, it doesn't matter. You're allowed to portage. So I think it's cool that we have different rule sets from the other series, so people kind of have diverse rule sets if they prefer different styles. And I think Live Scope and the electronics are going to be a player potentially in this tournament because you got more lakes, mostly lakes that are all going to be players, right? So Live Scope works good on the lakes, and that time of year, if they're not really up there yet, I could totally see it being a player. So what do you guys think about that? Duke, do you use Live Scope at all?
I don't, but again, I can't justify spending the amount of money for it because I don't fish enough. I see it could be a huge advantage, especially for this upcoming event.
Yep.
Because most of the waters are super dirty up this way. So.
Interesting.
I think it'll be like if you're really, really good at using Live Scope, especially on shallow water. Rolando Nandine, winning cattle.
Yeah.
Shallow water using Live Scope is epic. But considering the season, and they're probably either going to be betting or moving up to start betting, I don't think you're going to need Live Scope. Most of those lakes are also kind of shallow. The bite can be pretty predictable at that time of the year. Bodart might be a lake that, Live Scope might come in handy. But I think anybody, unless you're really, really good at the settings and how to read Live Scope and what you're seeing on the monitor, like I said, somebody like Rolando Nandine might take advantage of that, but for the majority of the field, you're better off. You probably.
Oops. Yeah. Sorry, I almost cut you off there. Sorry. I agree. I think that it's going to depend on the weather, and I'm hoping you're right, Armando, that you will not need live scope for this event. I'm not fishing it, so I don't really care. But what that does mean is I probably won't need it, hopefully, on Lake Fork a few days before in the championship, because I don't use it, don't have it, and I want them to be shallow where I can catch them on Lake Fork. Anyway, that's funny. So let's see. Any comments or questions out there? Some autopilot. Whoops, sorry, Jake, you hit one when I hit one. Autopilot was definitely a game changer from JT Hickman. Stacy saying interesting information, guys. Yeah, some great information. Anything else you guys can think about for this event that anglers might want to know, or anything we're missing before we let you guys all go? I know kept you. We'd like to end this around 1:15 usually. So anything you guys can think of?
No, not off the top of my head.
I would say enjoy the area. Texas is renowned for not just bass fishing, but the bass fishing culture. So many of these small towns around big lakes, they pride themselves in that culture, kind of like Lake Fork. One thing I love about Lake Fork is it's not just the lake. Every town around it is invested into, like, this is world-class fishery, probably top 5 in the United States. So have fun. Come here. The tournament, I think, is going to be on Sunday. So you got Friday and Saturday pre-fish, but also enjoy the area, because it's a nice area of Texas. And there's a lot of fun stuff to do, a lot of good mom and pop restaurants. Have fun, because you can get so tunnel vision into catching fish that you forget that you're at a pretty cool place with a great community of locals that are very friendly, and they love to see that. They love Texas takes pride in being the top state in bass fishing. So locals are always, especially small businesses, are always very very welcoming of people coming in and fishing tournaments. So take advantage of it. The cafes over there, that's true, Marty. The cafes over there are really nice. Small town charm in Texas it's unique. It's great.
It is. And Texas Parks and Wildlife does such a good job. You can come and catch a sherlunker, and they stock this lake with all the offspring from the sherlunkers. And like Matt said, there's brood stock already in there. Some big ones they put in there as well. And even the ones they stocked, even though it's 2019 they started stocking them, so we are up to about 5 or 6 years now. Those fish were stocked in, I believe, around 8 or 9 inches already, maybe a little bit more than that even. So they definitely are kind of hitting those points where it's probably going to be a player in this event. So I'm excited to see what happens to this lake. Let's say give it what do you think, Matt, like another 4 or 5 years? Do you think this becomes the next OHIV Lake Fork and for the next 15, 20 years?
Yeah, it needs at least 5 years, in my opinion. Not as much for the fish to get to the right size, but it needs some time for the trees and the timber to rot and decay.
Yeah.
Just so much of the lake is too thick to fish. So yeah, once the lake has had some time to mature, it's going to get a lot better. The fish are in there, but they're hard to get to.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So I can't wait, man. I'm excited. Last words, Duke. We look forward to it. I know you're going to be at the Classic. You got a booth there with Mariner. So we might miss you, but we want to thank you for all the support, North Texas, and all that you guys are doing out there in your region. We really appreciate all the hard work, man.
Thanks, man. We're looking forward to bring a lot of people out to Paris. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So, and then next year, I think maybe you guys will try to hopefully put that on the schedule and see what lakes. Yeah, and if you want to do a different, a format where you got 2 or 3 of those lakes in play, at least you'll know now from this sample which ones you might want to add, like which ones are the hot ones, and just go to those for North Texas event. So, could be cool.
Sure.
So,
yep.
All right, guys. I think that's about a wrap. We appreciate all your time. Jake and I will close it up here, but we'll catch you guys later, and we'll see you pretty soon. Wish me luck, guys, out in Havasu.
All right, man. Good luck at Havasu.
All right.
See ya.
Later, guys. All right, bye. Cool. That was awesome. We got some perfect amount of info. Not too much, but just the nice little. I will say this, though. Some good info was there.
I did some research, some fact checking on the fly, because we like to be on the nose of stuff.
Yep.
That Gimbal Wildlife area does have people catching fish out of kayaks.
Yeah,
Just to
I've
confirm.
seen. Yeah, when we added that, we did see that. So that's why I'm saying it's so. I think that's so cool, man. That like it really is like the creek to, my style of fishing in these other tournaments. I know, especially back in the day when we could launch from, like Kayak Adventure Series rules, you could launch from any public launch. I was like, man, I am hosed right now if other people show up or pre-fish, and sometimes they did. And guess what? We didn't win that tournament. We had to zig and zag, and I had to move and go somewhere else. And that's kind of the way these smaller lakes and ponds are, and it gives a chance for those bodies of water, which are very kayak friendly, to be in play. So we'll see.
I don't know if you're going to win there, but
yeah,
it definitely is an interesting one, because you could go around that lake in like 2 hours.
Yeah,
easy.
I don't think there's
maybe
big
less than that.
gizzard shad swimming around that lake and some giant school of bait fish population. It's just a bluegill and, catfish probably, and whatever, maybe some carp or something, and bass probably. But that's okay. They get big in farm ponds, right? And anywhere in Texas that just feed on bluegill. You don't need that. That's what's cool about how this all shakes out, using your intellect and learning online and eliminating 6 of those lakes right off the bat, and then hitting 2 a day for 2 days. And that's 4 you've covered. And could you solve the puzzle? Someone's going to solve it. Someone's going to hit 100 inches. I think we're going to give away a Century Belt at this event. I'm pretty positive Texas will probably make it happen here. So
you might be giving away a couple, so we might want to grab what we have.
Yeah, we should have asked the guys that. That's what we should have asked them, if they think a Century Belt's going to get hit. But I think you and I already know the answer to that. It probably will get hit at this event. So I don't really have a ton left. I mean, I think I just got to get ready to fly out here this evening. So
yeah. And if you guys aren't, you should definitely follow us on social. We've had a lot of stuff going on over there. So
it's true. Yep. Hit us up on social.
We're finally getting caught up on some stuff. We just did a tackle for trash post this morning, so it was very convenient that we had Omnia on here. One of the coolest tackle for trash finds that we had, which
we did.
Was
I meant to post the trash. Yeah, you can show that video. We can go out on that video if you want, but I meant to show these when Ricky was on here. Our trash, just some of the examples. Like these kayaks were dug out of the river. They had holes in them, and they were brought back as part of the tackle for trash. That's just at one event. That was just Shoaly Palooza. Yeah, let's see. This is cool. We'll end on this.
So go like this post, guys, because it's a cool post.
Yep. Promotes the stewardship and the river cleanup that we're doing here at each event with the tackle for trash presented by Omnia. So yeah, go give us a follow, give us a like and a follow. Helps us out. And I can't hear the audio, but you guys can go check it out.
Oh, it's muted.
Oh, nice. We'll let it play one more time. I'm going to head out. And then when that's finished.
Beautiful place. Too beautiful for a potty to be sitting there on this.
Nope. Thought you were going to let it play. Sorry. Thank you guys for the support. Stacy saying good luck, Drew. But yeah, we'll catch you guys at the next one. Peace out. See you, Jake.
See you.